directly to the article that we've got. So I'm just waiting for this to live stream a minute, and we'll be ready to go. Hang on. Right, excellent. We're all ready, folks. I'm just gonna. Double check something a minute, and we're gonna be straight into it.
Want to listen to something in there? Oh.
Have you got a woman with you, Rog?
Yes, Jill. The what? Who's coming? Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah. Yes, Jill. Go.
Oh, right. Cool. Anyway, so what we're going to title Roman Bits and Pieces, right? And I was wandering around on the internet the other day, and we got to screen share this straight away. So I was wandering around on the internet the other day, and I'm looking for some research to do with something completely different. And I came across something that was really startling that I didn't know existed. It's in Rome, and it's. Have you ever seen these?
No.
There's an amazing story about these, and it's the oldest doors still in use in Rome. And here's a little bit of information on it. It goes, the oldest door still in use in Rome, cast in bronze for Emperor Hadrian's rebuilding of Rome itself. So this is for the Senate building. Look at the size of that. They're actually genuine doors. They date from well, we're slightly off 2,000 years ago. So they date from 115 years AD. Each door is solid bronze doors. We'll look at these in details now. And they're 7.5 feet wide. Each of the doors is 7.5 feet wide. So 7.5 feet. That's 2 meter wide doors, and there's two of them. So there's 4 meters across, and 25 feet high. Right. So we're not even going to guesstimate that one yet. So well balanced that they can be pushed or pulled open easily by one person.
Wow.
And look at that. It's just, I had no idea these existed. I just did not know that these existed. I do have more information on these, but it was amazing that I'd actually come across these by complete accident. I'm just gonna there is what else have I got here? There was, hang on, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just go back a bit, right? And well, this was a bit of a learning curve looking at these bronze doors, right? And there's more of them. There you go. So I'm just gonna see there. Here we go. But look at these. There's more of them. These are not the same doors that we were just looking at. So I went down a rabbit hole and I just thought, hang on a minute, these are not the same doors that we were looking at, right? So there's more than just the 2 sets of doors that we're looking at. There's more of them. So the doors of the ancient Roman Senate. So the ones that we've just seen, that's describing they're associated with the Senate. And these ones are more of these bronze doors of the ancient Roman Senate. So these are completely different. Look at these, right? And these are bronze. And apparently these little stars were actually added to them. So these actually date from the Roman period. And the great bronze doors of the papal Basilica of St. John Latin once belonged to the ancient Curia Julia or Senate House, which still stands in the Forum. And there's the Senate House, but they've nicked the doors and they've taken them to the papal Basilica of St. John. The doors, which date back to the reign of Emperor Domitian, so just a few years before the other doors that we've just seen, were moved to the Basilica in 1660 at the bequest of Pope Alexander VII, who had them adorned with the heraldic 8-pointed stars of his own family, the Chigi. So it's just thinking that these are actually original Roman doors, right? And these are different Roman doors than the ones we've actually already seen. So I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole, and I just thought there's just so many of these doors, right? There's more than one set, I thought. So and then we look at images, and we go through these, and we think, right, those are the ones that we've just seen, and these are the other ones, the oldest doors still in use in Rome. But these are actually I think what they're trying to say, these ones are actually in situ. Right, and these have actually been moved. But you've got one set, you've got another set of these bronze doors there. And look at these ones. There's more of them. Bronze doors. These are solid bronze doors. I gotta mention, right? There we go. The bronze doors of the Temple of Romulus at the Roman Forum. So there you go. There's more of them. And you've got doors on the Senate House. And I just got so like in awe. I think these are a little bit later, these ones.
Basically, how they put them up.
Well, yeah, they're solid. These are solid bronze doors, Roger. Obviously, the lock-in mechanism is fairly modern on that one, an iron mechanism there. And you're looking at these, and you're scrolling through. I'm just scrolling through now, and there seems to be lots of these sets of doors throughout Rome. And I just thought this is so. As I say, I've been doing Roman archaeology all my life, and I just had no idea that anything like this could exist. And obviously these are going to be later doors, but you're looking at that there. The one strange thing is you've got the Temple of Romulus, and the rest of the building's no longer there. It's collapsed. The roof is gone, but the doors are still there. And then that puts another perspective on this whole thing. So we go back to these again. And these doors themselves, these cast in bronze doors for Emperor Hadrian. And you know what? We're gonna do a little bit of research on these ones, because I got I'm just gonna type in bronze doors, Emperor Hadrian, and we're gonna do Rome, and we're gonna see what else we come up with, right? So we've read that little bit of information there, and we've got these ones here. Okay, so so we got the ones that we mentioned about the forum. We've mentioned the one which were taken to the basilica, and I mentioned that these amazing ones that we've just seen. And I'm just going to try and open this a minute, see if we can get this up online. These big ones here. Come on, is it going to go? Is it going to let me look? Come on. We'll just have a little break a minute. I'm just going to have a slurp. When you get excited about something, it just doesn't come up on the screen. Hang on a minute. Right, hang on. Is it that there? Open. Hang on a minute. What have we got there? That's not what I wanted. Nope. Let's just go back again. Let's just go back on that. Just going to see if we can get that information. The information's not seeming to coming up a minute. So all we need to do, we just type in the Pantheon, right? So these other sets of doors are still associated with the Pantheon in Rome. So that other building, which is unbelievably built. So the Pantheon, and we've got images associated with the Pantheon. This wonderful building, the Pantheon in Rome itself. So we go to this here. And yeah, these are where those bronze doors are, at the Pantheon, the wonderful Pantheon in Rome itself. And we haven't actually done anything about this. So it's in the heart of Rome, the Pantheon, and the Pantheon itself is a building that was rebuilt by Emperor Hadrian. And then what you do have is these wonderful doors, the Pantheon doors. If we type in that one there, and we go, these unbelievable doors, aren't they amazing that one person can actually open those doors? Tourists tried to see the inside of the Pantheon. You've got these very look at the way somebody's trying to get in there now and just sort of open these doors. And you've got all the visitors there, and there they are, these massive doors open. and you open in. Look at that there. You just open these doors and you go and look at the Pantheon. This wonderful temple, the Pantheon in Rome, that still has its roof on. It's got its columns on. It's an amazing, absolutely amazing structure with working doors that still work, that have been there for 1,900 years. You couldn't get more excited than that. So again, these bronze doors, and if we type in the building, equally the building that they're associated with, the Pantheon, and sometimes Wikipedia is very, very useful, and it's very, very useful when we're looking at the Pantheon. So the Pantheon itself is a former Roman temple, and since the year 609 has been a Catholic church. It was commissioned by Marcus Agrippina in the reign of Emperor Augustus. So it stood since the reign of Emperor Augustus. It stood for 2,000 years, this building. The building that you can actually see in the image there. You still looking at these images?
Yeah.
Yep. And then the doors were put on there in the reign of Emperor Hadrian. Chose not to inscribe the new temple. So in other words, basically used the original inscription on there. The building is cylindrical with a portico of large granite Corinthian columns, still standing, still as they were meant to be 2,000 years ago. And obviously the doors put on there 1,900 years ago. So the rectangular vestibule, which is the entranceway, links the porch to the rotunda, which is under a concrete dome. So you've got this sort of concrete dome, which is amazing. So the oculus, which is the roof, the height itself, the diameter is 43 meters, and it's still standing today. This sort of dome, this dome in Rome is still standing today. It was one of the best preserved of ancient Roman buildings, and probably one of the finest Roman buildings ever built. And it still stands today. Do you know what? We in all these Roman classes, I want to do this building again, because it was just like a little bit of a thing I wanted to look at. And it was just it's a wonderful piece of architecture. And if we can get an idea of how it was built, hang on a minute. So we got this wonderful building there. And again, it still stands today. All of that is as it was for the past 2,000 years. Look how amazing that is. It could almost be St. Paul's Cathedral. The roof hasn't been rebuilt in there. So we've got these gilded, we've got these, we've got gilded bronze being used to sort of give out detail. And we've got these granite columns that we're talking about. The granite columns are 50 feet in height. Weighing each of these columns altogether weighs 100 tons, right? And the capitals alone are 10 feet in height. So the capitals there, the capitals alone are 10 feet in height. So that gives you a massive idea of these great structures, the great building, and grey granite being used. And it's talking about the Pantheon. Looked like it had stone quarried from Egypt, which is absolutely amazing. Some of the stones themselves weighing altogether. We've got weights and dimensions of 60 tons, and we've got again more about the bronze doors, and look at the way that's built. So this itself, inside the Pantheon. There we go. So we got 43 meters in diameter sphere. Okay, so one side to the next, 43 meters. It's a perfect sphere. Look at that, and it's just a marvel of ancient Roman engineering. And this itself, the rotunda itself, is rather interesting. So what you've got, the weight of the concrete dome. There we go. Bring that figure in there. The weight of the concrete dome is 4,500 tons in weight. Okay, so 4,500 tons in weight. That's their concrete dome there, and it still stands today. It's a concrete dome. It's not. This is concrete. Yeah, with a glass light there. It's a concrete dome. so this itself, an amazing, absolutely amazing sphere, an amazing sort of, you can see how the dimensions are there. The architect really sort of really got to grips with this, and what you've got is that itself is actually supported on voussoirs, which are the supporting beams which actually support that, and the thrust. It's sort of it's sort of more or less is barrel vaulted inside, so that actually sort of takes the thrust and the way this actually all works, and it's concrete. And the other thing as well is if we look in there, the way this is constructed, it says that the materials used in the concrete of the dome also vary. So at its thickest point, the aggregate, the hardcore, what you chuck in with the cement, is something known as travertine, right? And we're going to look at what travertine is now, because I don't exactly know myself. Is a form of terrestrial limestone deposited around mineral springs. So it's going to be like a soft, uncompacted material, right? So it's going to be quite light. So the travertine is actually used, and then, so at its thickest point, they use travertine. So that's where it's got to be fairly sort of light but load bearing, and it's sort of a limestone sort of mix. And then terracotta tiles are then used. Then at the top, tufa and pumice. So at the top as well, the tufa itself is mixed with cement, and the tufa and pumice is going to be really soft, and it's going to be very light. So it's going to be put together, and the lighter stuff is actually going to be put towards the top of the dome, where the dome would be at its weakest and vulnerable to collapse. The oculus actually lightens the load. So no tensile test results are available on the concrete used in the Pantheon. However, it's said that ancient concrete from Roman ruins in Libya, which gave a compression rate of nearly 3,000 psi, which is weight, that when you do psi when you look at your tires, and it's said, with all this, the stresses in the dome were found to be substantially reduced by the use of different materials. So the light material at the top, and then it sort of gets, you've got tile being used, and below that you've got the sort of limestone being used, and it's said that here we go, if this was a normal concrete dome, the stresses in the arch would have been 80% greater. So in other words, the weight into the rest of the structure, the pillars, the columns, and all the rest of it would nearly be 100 times greater than the way they actually constructed this. And it's absolutely amazing. And you've got all these relieving arches, and you've got all this other sort of other architectural skills used to construct this amazing structure. So the Pantheon still holds the record for the world's largest unreinforced concrete dome. It is also substantially larger than earlier domes. So in other words, this is one of the largest domes of 43 meters in diameter. This is the largest dome ever constructed at that point. So it's amazing. Though often drawn as a freestanding building, there was a building at its rear which abutted to it. While this building helped buttress the rotunda, there was no interior passage from one to the other. So you've got other sort of other things going on here, and it's got a little video. Yeah, I'm just gonna that's the way it looks today, isn't it? Doesn't that looks absolutely spectacular? And that's again, loads of tourists in there. It's a church. It's amazing that the colours and everything have actually remained in that structure. And it does. And again, look, this marble in the background, right? So the marble in the background, as you've got some of these additions, and you've got Mary and the child Jesus Christ. And again, looking at that structure there, looking that actually still exists today, it's unbelievable that this still stands today. And looking at the oculus there, looking up there, looking and knowing that the way this is constructed is very, very special. And again, that to me looks like Islamic mosque, doesn't it? It doesn't look Roman. And one of the things that I would remark on, just sort of fleetingly, is that lots of architecture is basically being copied and reproduced and remade and sort of re-influenced over the years. And that's not one. But there you go again. So what I'd like to do is, as I say, we can do lots of little bits of Roman stuff today. So I want to leave the Pantheon there now. It'd be nice to come to the Pantheon in the future. So I want to, I've got something else that I wanted to look at, which was this. Now I've often mentioned, okay, I've often mentioned lots of really important sites and so on. So in Roman Britain, and we got a little. I thought, why didn't we do a little bit of a top 10 today? And it sort of says the best 10 Roman ruins in England. Now the question is, have we visited all these Roman ruins? So this is the top 10 Roman ruin buildings in England. As we know, I'm going to sort of go over this. So Roman history embedded in the countryside of Great Britain. It is amazing to see how the people lived their daily lives. You can get a glimpse of the Roman world by looking at its ruins. There are so many locations to consider when trying to find the best 10 Roman ruins in England. So what I'm going to do is ask you guys, what's the best set of Roman ruins that you've ever visited? Roger and Britain. Is that going to be in our top 10? Go on, Rog.
I don't know. I haven't visited a lot.
Well, come on. The most spectacular Roman ruins that you've visited. Let's see if it's in the top 10. Go on, Roger.
Karl-james.
Right, okay. We'll see that's in the list. What about you, Rich? You can't say Karl-james.
Chester.
Anything particular in Chester?
Amphitheatre.
Okay, that's yours. And mine, do you know what? I've glimpsed at this list, but I didn't go into great detail. I would say Fishbourne. I can check Fishbourne in there. And by the way, Roger, we've got a trip to Fishbourne next year.
Right. Yeah, you said yes.
Yeah, so if you're interested in that, let me know. Are you coming on we've got a month of excavations here in June if you're interested, and we basically it's going to be 30 shekels. It's going to be 30 shekels a day if you do more than 3 days, and we can organise accommodation locally and we can pick you up and everything, Roger. Okay.
Well, I'll see about that because I'm not doing a lot these days with everything, so maybe a day there, max.
Yeah, if you do a day, then we can pick you up from Carmarthen, okay?
Yeah.
So anyway, we mentioned 3 sites. Are those 3 sites in there? Killeen, you were a bit vague about Killeen, but lots of stuff at Killeen, really. Richard mentioned Chester. He mentioned the amphitheatre. I'm thinking Chester does have some really nice stuff. It's got the walls as well.
The wall, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So there's other stuff in Chester, but Richard's going to go for
I
the
mentioned
amphitheatre. All right, then. Did you say Kyle-went or Killeen?
Kyle-went. So that was.
Oh, right. Sorry, Rog. You got Kyle-went.
So it's the Roman construction.
Yeah, the walls there.
Yeah.
So we don't need to do any of this. We've got 10 Roman ruins. We know the Romans were here for over 400 years. We've got when the likes of Antonius Pius was here in 143. After the reign of Hadrian, there were 40,000 Roman soldiers here. Emperor Claudius decided to invade. We know all that. And obviously, we've got the Julius Caesar invasions earlier on. And the Romans landed unopposed. There we go. Once the Romans conquered Britain, blah, 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 blah. So basically, there's a list. And we're going to quickly go through it. You didn't see that list. Right. So there was the top 10 actually on there. Right. So what we've got Arbia Roman fort. Okay, so let's have a quick look at Arbia Roman fort. Hang on, is it going to show the image? Hang on a minute. Well, we've got big now. Why haven't we got the Arbia Roman fort? Hang on a minute. That's in the. I don't know if this is actually. We're going to chuck a picture in there, Rog. We want Arbia Roman fort. It's not one of the main ones.
No.
Yeah, but it's what we're going to do is see if we can get some images, Rog. Here we go. Arbia Roman fort. Now, Arbia Roman fort is the reconstructed Roman fort in Britain.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
South Shields. Now, I think that's a bit of a cheat, right? Because it's been reconstructed. However, I don't think this list isn't in this list. I don't think is in any particular order. But you do have substantial remains at South Shields, right? So we'll let people have that one anyway, because it's got a nice little bit of a reconstruction, which is quite rare. So that's in Northumberland. The fort was once a maritime supply fort for Hadrian's Wall, built in around 160, which is obviously into the reign of Marcus Aurelius. This supply fort played a vital role in maintaining military forces in Britain's supplies. There are still remains of the original barracks, as we see at Culzean. Better remains at Arbia than we see at Culzean. And we've got a bit of a reconstruction, and this gives you a unique perspective into the world of Rome. Now, what's next on the list? Bignor Roman Villa, Sussex. Now, I've never been to the Bignor Roman Villa in Sussex, but look at the mosaics there. I think we've mentioned Bignor a little bit in the past, but we didn't actually visit it. So what we've got at Bignor in this list, there's lots of, well, we've got 10, so I can't say there's lots of sites with mosaics, but there are a few sites with mosaics. So this is the Bignor Roman Villa in Sussex. I never visited this one. Maybe I should have. When I was actually living in Sussex. This villa itself dates back to 200 years AD. The villa was burnt to the ground about 200 years after it was built. It was rediscovered in 1811 by a farmer. Now, interestingly enough, lots of Roman remains in Britain have been found by farmers by accident. And actually, the Roman palace at Fishbourne was found by accident as well. When I think they were putting some fence posts in, and then another time they were putting some sewage in. There's some sewage pipes in at Fishbourne near Chichester, and that was found by accident as well. So this site is some of the best Roman mosaics in England on display, almost intact. There still remains the base of mighty pillars that once held up great Roman structures. The artwork is exquisite. Many famous pieces, such as the dolphin, can be viewed if you enjoy mosaics as a must-see site. The Brading Roman Villa. Now, that's going to be no good, is it? We want to see a little bit of Roman remains here today. So let's just go on here. Let's have a quick look and see if we can find some Brading Roman Villa. Brading Roman Villa is actually on the Isle of Wight. It's in the centre of the Isle of Wight, actually. And I have mentioned, so what we've got Brading. There we go. Hang on a minute. Let's just have a look. There's the museum at Brading, right? It's a rather interesting site, rather interesting the way they've actually done it. And if we can, we want to have a look at a few Roman remains. Those are the Roman remains inside the hangar at Brading. And as we sort of go through, let's sort of have another little bit there. We got some wonderful remains on display at Brading. And can you all bear with me a minute? I'll just 1 second. Hello? Oh, don't worry, folks. Anyway, I needed to have that off. So Brading itself is a wonderful site. It's on the Isle of Wight, so you're gonna have to go over there on a ferry. But look at that. Look at these sumptuous rooms which have got all this sort of look at that there. Isn't that great? You've got some really nice mosaics there at Brading, and also look at that, you've got a checkerboard form of mosaic there as well. So you've got different periods that are on display at Brading Roman Villa, but obviously that's going to have to be a visit to the Isle of Wight. Anyway, let's just crack on with that list again. Back to this list. There we go. Hang on a minute. Right, so Brading, this villa dates back to the early periods of Rome in Britain. So it's probably one of those areas that was quite subdued quite early. So we got some nice stuff going on, and was in use around 300 years AD. This villa survived many Anglo-Saxon raids. So what we've got, as this goes into the 400s maybe, and probably the dates 300 there are probably a bit early. Maybe it survived into the 400s because that's when the Anglo-Saxons are over here. It also survived several fires. The site is now a museum where you can see a lot of Roman stonework and mosaics. You get access to private rooms and a complete look at the structure in general. This villa is in excellent condition. It is filled with awesome facts and interesting bits of ancient Roman architecture. So Brading's in there. So we've done 3 sites so far. We've done Arbia. We've never heard of it. We know it's South Shields, but it's not a site that I've ever visited. I know about Arbia and I know about South Shields. I've known about Bignor, but I've never visited it. And I've known about Brading. I've never visited that either. So you're somebody who's really into their Romans. I'm not in the top 3. I've been a bit of a fail today, actually. Chedworth Roman Villa. Now, guess who hasn't been to Chedworth either? Me, Gloucester. Chedworth itself is a wonderful site. When they excavated it, the antiquarians followed the walls and they actually put these sort of capping on it, right? And they left some of the detail inside the walls unexcavated. And very recently at Chedworth in Gloucester, they actually found that a mosaic in Gloucester, which isn't in this list, a mosaic in Gloucester at Chedworth was actually created in the 400s, about 410, 420. One of the latest Roman mosaics created at a Roman villa in Britain was actually found at Chedworth, not 10 years ago, not 100 years ago, but actually they excavated it last year. As I say, what they did, the archaeologists in the past, they used to follow walls. So what we used to do, follow the walls, we used to restore them, and then in this one, they've capped them off. But then they've left some of the detail inside the rooms unexcavated. Guess what? I'm not doing well today. That's 4 sites I've not visited in Roman Britain. What a big fail. I don't know if any of you guys have visited any of the sites that we're visiting today. But this site itself in Gloucester, which again isn't too far away, this site boasts a number of amazing mosaics. It is one of the largest villas of this type in England. This site is controlled by the National Trust and it dates back to at least the 120s. It was completely remodeled in the 310s and again, transformed into the 400s. There is a large dining room with a beautiful mosaic, which is covered over, which you can actually look at. You can look at it undercover and bathing suites. Discovered in 1864. And acquired by the National Trust in 1924. Right, this is on the list. Yeah, you're right there, Richard. I've been to Chester. You've been to Chester, and I don't know if Roger's been to Chester, but well, we've all been to Chester. That's a good one. So, the only site that we visited, all of us so far, is this one in Chester. Hopefully, I can do a bit better, right? Yeah. So you've got the Grosvenor Museum, and you've got the Wall. Chester, the amphitheatre, the amphitheatre is not something that's always been on display in Chester. It was more recently excavated in the past few decades, and we've allowed ourselves to be able to see the Chester Roman amphitheatre. It's not complete on display like the one at Culzean. But this one is quite chunky. It's again a legionary amphitheatre. Oh my God, that's wrong, isn't it? This is the only amphitheatre discovered in Britain. No, it's wrong. Wrong. Whoever wrote this? My God, we've got a Roman amphitheatre in the middle of Dorchester, which is a traffic island, so we know that that's there. We've got the one in Carmarthen, Moradunum. We've got the one at Culzean as well. We've got the big one at the Guildhall in London as well. We've got this one in Chester. There are other little examples. We've got the one that we know about in Colchester as well. So that's actually wrong there, isn't it? This is the only amphitheatre discovered in Britain. This is, but all the other facts are correct. This site is believed to be the original home to several amphitheatres that were built at the same location, obviously over a period of time. So what you can see, this stuff was actually rebuilt in the 280s, long after the one in Culzean probably fell out of use. It has not been fully excavated. Fair enough, we know that. It is an impressive structure designed to hold 8,000 spectators. And this amphitheatre was primarily used for military training and drills. It also saw gladiatorial combat, cockfighting, Don't get too excited, Rog. Wrestling and bull baiting. Now, this is a rather interesting one, right? This is Chester Bridge, which is in Northumberland, right? This famous bridge. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to go off. I've not been to this site either in Northumberland. I've heard of this, right? So what we're going to do, we're going to go off. We're going to go off the image, and we're going to type in, right? We're going to type in not Chester Bridge, not Chester as in Chester. Chester Bridge in Northumberland. Chester, Caister is like a Roman sort of origin. So Chester Bridge, if we look at sort of Chester Bridge in Northumberland, see if we can get some nice little images about this. There we go. Basically, what you've got is this is quite massively interesting. You've got the abutment of a bridge here, right? And this is the abutment of where the bridge would have actually gone over the river at Chester Bridge. It's very finely built, and the other thing as well is what we do see is that the river has changed course. So this is, if the river had gone this way, it would have destroyed it, but it went the other way. So what we're going to do, we can see if there's any more images. Let's just see if we can. There we go. Really fine stonework on this site. Hang on, and there we go. There it is, Chester Bridge. And if we look at the other image there, you've got a little bit of, hang on a minute, let's just, there we go, Chester Bridge after flooding. So the water wants to meet Chester Bridge again. Let's just see if we can find any more information about this wonderful Chester Bridge. Here we go. Oh, Wikipedia again. Why not? Sometimes Wikipedia can be very useful. Chester Bridge is what's remaining of a Roman bridge. And the fort at Chester Bridge was mentioned in the Notitatum Dignitatum. And the Notitatum Dignitatum is a work that we've mentioned before that we believe was written sometime in the late 300s, in the 400s. So it was something that mentioned this fort in Northumberland. So what we've got a little bit of history there. Let's just sort of see what the history tells us. The remains of the bridge on the east bank of the river North Tyne are approached along a footpath near the Chollenford Bridge. These remains were first located in 1860, again by complete accident. They form one of the most impressive and massive masonry structures to be seen on Hadrian's Wall. A shift in the course of the Tyne has moved the river westwards, so that this abutment now is 20 meters away from it. But this is obviously evidence that we've got stone-built bridges in Roman Britain. Whether the arches were fully made of stone, basically what we do see in Roman Britain is that the bases of the bridges were stone, and then you would have had the substructure is stone, and then the superstructure above it is actually made of timber. So in other words, I'm not doing too well today. So really bit of a fail on this, being a Roman expert. So what we've actually got now. So we've done 6 sites so far. Now, do you know what? Guess who hasn't been to Canterbury and seen the Roman remains there?
I haven't.
No.
I haven't been there either. Oh my God.
Oh, me.
Well, okay, guys, we're all complete fails in our interest in ancient Rome. We've never been to any of these sites.
No.
How, so we've got 3 other sites to look at. Richard's Amphitheatre was there. We've done that one. Roger mentioned Kaya-went. And where the bloody hell did I mention in Britain? I can't remember. But anyway, we'll soon see if that's on there. So Canterbury, Durav Vernum, this world famous city was once the capital of the local tribe. After it was captured by the Romans, it was rebuilt and grew to 130 acres. So we're talking about the Roman, the native site, and then you've got a great Roman city. And to be honest with you, the Cantai tribe, that's what it is, the Cantai tribe, Canticorum, Canterbury. And interesting enough, the Cantai people is the name of the people. And it's rather interesting that the name Canterbury is more or less very similar to the original name. There are very few places in Britain that have kept their Roman names. Well, don't shout at me and say Londinium, right? London. But there are very few. Even when we look at something like Chester, that's Diva. Roxeter Viraconium, does that sound as if it's similar to the original name? But Canterbury, that's a very interesting one, that the Roman name has actually survived a little bit through. Now, Roger, you've been to York with me, so that's one on the tick box. And we've done this one. We've been there. Brilliant. And we've seen that column.
Very interesting.
But and interestingly enough, I think what is really interesting about this is that you've got, do you know what, right? I didn't actually question whether that is, because obviously when this collapsed, this would have gone in bits. And these tiles here look like Roman, these don't look like Roman roof tiles because they're too thin. So that must be restoration to have put this up. I don't know. I can't remember when this was put back up, but we know that that's standing on the site of where the Forum was, which is underneath the great cathedral at York. So we've seen this. So this village, oh my God, who's actually writing this? This city originated as a Roman fort. And the Roman military headquarters still stands today, and it is open to the public. There is also a Roman public bath, a temple, multagonal tower, all in good condition and very interesting. So we've seen Roger, we've seen that column there. We've been to see the bath together. We've seen the multagonal tower, and we've seen sort of the walls and other bits and pieces. So that's 2 out of this list of 10. Now, the one that I did mention was the Fishbourne Roman Palace, right? And I'm wondering if that's number 10 today. I'm wondering, or whether we can have the wall at karl-james as number 10. I don't know. So, again, guess who hasn't been to Littlecote Roman Villa in Wiltshire? I haven't been there either. This villa is world famous for its mosaic of Orpheus. It is excellent shape and dates back. We can't date back to 4 AD because it's the Romans. Oh God. Anyway, we'll type in this mosaic of Orpheus, right? Because we all want to know what that looks like. So we're just the mosaic of Orpheus. There we go. We'll type that in there. The mosaic of Orpheus. Hang on a minute. It's just mosaic of Orpheus. See if that comes up straight away. The mosaic of Orpheus. Hang on a minute. It's a book, right? Oh, there we go. Orpheus. That there is a Littlecote, isn't? No, that's a Edessa. Hang on a minute. No. That's another one there. If we type in Orpheus. There's other examples of the Orpheus mosaic in the world. I want to just go type that in. Orpheus, and we got Littlecote. Hang on, what's it doing there? Oh, Orpheus. Are we going to get Orpheus? We know he's in Greek mythology, and we got. It's not letting me do it. Hang on a minute. Why is it not letting me do it? Don't see. Hang on. If we type in Littlecote, hang on a minute. Littlecote. I've got something wrong with my thing here. Nope. Orpheus. It's not letting me do it. Hang on a minute. Hang on. Just turn this off a minute. Right. Okay. Get my keyboard. Littlecote. Hang on a minute. Little. Yeah, we go. Littlecote Roman Villa. Okay. We've got images. There we go. There it is. Isn't that beautiful? The detail that goes into, and Littlecote as well. So you've got this wonderful scallop sharp design here. And you've got this central Orpheus in the middle, Greek mythology. and this is on display at Littlecote. And see if we can get one from above, a little bit more detail. Hang on, let's just see. Doesn't seem to be one from above, actually. Hang on a minute. Let's just see what we've got there. Hang on a minute. Let's just see if we can. We don't seem to have a little one, a complete one. Let's just see if we can find a little complete one there. Oh, there we go. Doesn't that look spectacular? That's the Roman villa, Littlecote in Wiltshire, and it's look at that. It's all the rooms have got every single inch there is actually covered in mosaic. It's absolutely so pristine and great there. And oh, look at the detail there. Oh wow, doesn't that look absolutely amazing? So I think what they did, they took all the covering off, and they're showing that. And the wonderful scallop designs, and the wild cats there as well. So Orpheus, there he is, the Greek association with Orpheus, and that's the design at Littlecote. Do you know what? I've got a penchant to let's just learn this one. Orpheus. Let's just see a little bit more. Hang on it. For some reason, it's not letting me do it. Every time you type in Orpheus. Orpheus. There we go. Right, okay, we'll go do that there, and we'll go there. Orpheus was a musician, poet, and prophet in Greek mythology. His parents were the king of Thrace, and the muse Calliope. Muse, basically, female prostitute, you could say. He was considered the best musician and poet of all, and he perfected the lyre. It was the god Apollo who taught Orpheus how to play the lyre when he was an adolescent. So that's who Orpheus is, and there's lots of mosaics associated with Orpheus. Lots of mosaics around the world. There's another one, a mosaic associated with Orpheus. So we've got our own example. Oh, doesn't that look spectacular? There we go. Orpheus. With all the, do you know, when you I don't exactly know where this one is, but when you look around, you're thinking about all the animals that were around in the Roman world back there. Look at all the wild cats, and even the peacock there on the right there, and the stag there, just sort of and an auroch there. There we go. Wow, wonderful. So, do you know what? Right, we're coming slowly to the end today, but I have no idea what's at number 10. I've got no idea what's at number 10. So is it going to be on? Is it going to be one of those? Is it? I mentioned that on my top 10, the one that I would go for is Fishbourne, and I've just given it away. Is Pevensey Roman fort. So we mentioned Littlecote just quickly. This villa was discovered when a farmhouse owner decided to run electrical lines to his barn. When he started digging, he quickly realized he was unearthing something special. This is one of the biggest Roman villas in Britain, and one of the finest sets of mosaics in Britain intact that we've already seen. Now, finally, folks, none of us mentioned, well, there's only 3 of us, right? But none of us mentioned the forts along the wonderful forts along the eastern coast. And Roger, we saw the one down in Norfolk with those beautiful walls. Neither of us mentioned that one. But Pevensey Roman fort in East Sussex. The Roman fort was used throughout ancient times. There is still much of the original Roman stonework visible, mostly in the curtain wall. Improvements were continually made. A castle was built there, and a gun battery was added. So what we're going to do, we're going to chuck in here. We've done the top 10, but we're going to look at Pevensey Castle. And I'm going to actually agree or disagree whether Pevensey Castle is the better one. So we got Pevensey, and we got Pevensey Castle there, and we go down there and we look, and hang on a minute, cancel Pevensey images. Let's do images of Pevensey. Let's just have a good look. Right, images. Now this is. They're very I've always known this. The walls at Pevensey are really strange. This is actually a Roman fort at Pevensey, and the walls are not exactly the typical type of Roman fort walls. And there in the top bit is the castle. But what is Roman is that sort of curtain wall in the base. I would have actually gone for Portchester, actually. And I would have actually gone for me and Roger actually visited it was Bur Castle, I think, which we'll have a quick look at now. So obviously the ground plan of Pevensey, there you go, is a Roman work. And do you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to go with so that's in Sussex, but we're going to go for Bur Castle. Hang on, Bur Castle. There we go. Now, Rog,
Yeah.
does this bring back memories?
Oh yeah, tremendous.
I tell you what, right? I'm gonna skip. I'm not gonna agree with Pevensey, right? We're gonna chuck Bur Castle in there. Look at that.
Yes.
And I tell you what, I've taken people on many visits to many places, right? And I don't know if I can recreate the scene in a minute, but I'm going to give it a good old go. I'm going to see if I can find an image. Yeah, basically this is it, right? At that point there, where there's all the crap, we entered that field, didn't we, Roger, at the top bit?
Yes.
And I think it's the first time. Yeah, it was the first time I've ever been with a group of people, and everyone their mouths were left open, and we all went, "Wow." We all went, "Wow, that's absolutely amazing." What we're actually looking at with Bur Castle. And there we go. I love this site. I've looked at it before. The strange thing, Roger, I don't think I've mentioned this, right? But have you noticed the towers have been added later on? They're not actually.
I couldn't remember that, but you said yes, I know.
These have actually been added later
added on as extra defence, something.
Yeah. So the wall was built first, and the towers have been added on as later an extra defence. Yeah. So Kaya Went wasn't in that top 10. The wall wasn't in there, which is a bit disappointing.
But that was built for the local people, whether they thought that wasn't a typical Roman site. It was built by them, you know what I mean, for the tribes there, side of the road. Yeah.
You could have easily have chucked in Bath. You could have chucked in there's actually loads of them. Actually, we could go on.
Yeah, depends, I suppose, what you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly. So what we're going to do now, we're going to stop that now. Are there any questions, folks?
No, that's fine, Carl. That's quite a scan, that is. Good.
Yeah. So are we here next week, folks?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. I'll find out where the other reprobates are for next week. I got to phone Bill.
How many did you have last night?
Oh right, it was
6. Was it?
Actually, Bill's phoning me now. Everyone stay there a minute. Hello, Bill. Yeah, fine. I was just ringing you. Do you know we stayed doing the Wednesday and we've just finished it now? Yeah. Right. Yeah, no, not a problem. Anyway, let me know. So I tell you what, Bill, what I'll do, I'll ring you back in a few moments because I've just got to end the class, okay? Speak to you in a minute. We'll just come to the end. I'll speak to you in a minute. Bye.
Yeah, so no, it's good.
Now. Right, okay. Are there any questions off anyone?
No?
No,
it's good. Those mosaics were beautiful.
Maybe what we could do, one thing that we haven't done much of is actually mosaic. So I'm going to do that next week.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay then. Well, So no more questions off you, Rog?
No, fine. It explained it well.
Okay, no more questions off you, Rich?
No, I was just going to show you this, mine. Apparently, Shirley Hodges has put an article in the Glamorgan Star.
What's that about?
See that?
Talking in the
Kiddie.
past.
Come kiddie.
Oh,
Kiddie.
you're joking.
Only the cottage, though.
Oh, right. So she's got her own column in the Star now, has she?
Yeah.
Oh my God, competition. No, I'll do the Barry district, and she can do that bloody thing.
Yeah, there's not much. It's only a couple of paragraphs.
Oh, great! I've done my. Oh, that's quite ironic, isn't it? Oh, great.
Yeah.
So, have you got anything else you want to say, Rich?
No, that's all.
All right then. So, all right then. If there's no other questions from you, Roger and Richard, I will see you next week, both of you.
Okay,
Yeah,
mate. Yes,
Monday.
Tuesday will be well. Nothing else on.
Okay.
No,
Oh, Roger, I was saying there was 9 of us last night.
that's good.
Everyone was there other than you, I think. So Claire was there. Everyone was there. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
so
Oh,
hopefully
good.
see you on Tuesday, Roger. Okay.
Yes. Okay, mate. Yeah. See you, Rich.
Yeah.
See you on
Raj.
Monday, Richard.
Yeah,
Okay.
see you
Thanks,
Monday.
Claire.
All right. Cheers, everyone. So long.
Cheers, everyone. Bye.
Yeah,
So
take
long.
care.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Anyway, thanks for watching today. And yes, brilliant. I got a crack